Not confirmed by the UFC, but confirmed by Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev came out and said, no, that fight's not happening. He's got lots of work to do in the welterweight division. Outside of that, I mean, Michael Chandler's ranked number 13. There's Renato Moicano at 10. There's Dan Hooker at number 8. He wouldn't be a bad stylistic matchup for Conor McGregor, but I think it's going to be like an old school throwback and something big and something that's going to blow people away. Dustin Poirier would do that. I think Jorge Masvidal would do that. And certainly a third fight with Nate Diaz, that would definitely blow the roof off.
Oh, keep going, move it, leave it.
You're under arrest. You're under arrest. Stop resisting. Conor McGregor is the perfect example. Why do you think he's such a big star? You think he's such a big star because he's funny? Yeah, that's part of it. You think he's such a big star because he speaks so well? Absolutely part of it. And you just keep going down the line of all these things that makes him a star. But number one, first and foremost, the reason he is a global superstar and people love this guy is because he's a real fighter. This guy, I'm the guy that makes the phone calls and hears people going, yeah, I'm not going to take that fight, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. Never has Conor McGregor said, Lorenzo and I were standing in his living room. Kid just woke up, got out of bed, he's in his underwear, okay? Doesn't even have time to process what's really going on. Looks us dead in the eye and says, I'm gonna take a shower and get dressed and work out. Let me know after I'm done working out who I'm fighting. Doesn't care.
Right.
And that, people feel that, and people notice that, and people...
The comeback whispers are growing louder as Conor McGregor intensifies training for a potential return on a White House card. This time, the atmosphere feels focused and stripped of distractions. If he steps onto a stage that historic, it won't be for nostalgia. It will be to remind everyone exactly who he is.
Last one, White House is what everybody's talking about. Big card on June 14th. There's going to be 100,000 people across the street.
I'm going to be in there.
Who's more likely to fight on that card, John Jones or Conor McGregor?
I'll say Conor McGregor. Listen,
Why?
man, if you're gonna have the biggest fight card of all time, you gotta have the biggest star the UFC has ever seen.
Yeah.
McGregor, according to his recently deleted tweet, he's back. He's coming. He's on.
I'm coming!
What did he say? He said, I have been offered an opponent and I accept. He said, I've been offered an opponent and I accept. Waiting on my contract. Now that tweet recently got deleted as well. One would assume, right, reading between the lines, could be wrong, that he's telling the truth, that he got the offer, they've agreed an opponent, and he was very excited, so he tweeted about something, then he was like, oh shit, I'm not supposed to say anything yet, or whatever, so he deleted it, okay? And obviously, it's a nice little PR move, it generates some interest for Conor McGregor, and the interest for Conor McGregor, he doesn't need to generate interest, let's be honest, okay? Everyone is still...
When it involves Conor McGregor, even a post that disappears within minutes can send shockwaves through MMA. That's exactly what happened after he shared, and quickly removed, a message claiming he'd been offered a fight, accepted the proposed opponent, and was only awaiting the official contract. Michael Bisping broke down the situation, suggesting the message felt genuine and may have been sent out before it was meant to be public. If that interpretation is accurate, McGregor's long-awaited return might be nearer than many expect.
That is correct. Stockton's own, king of the face slap, whatever you want to call him.
I don't give a either.
Nate Diaz, he was never far away from a bit of controversy, okay? He was talking recently and he said that he's coming back. He's got unfinished business. He's going to take over. That this generation of fighters, they're all crap and he's going to come in, take over. He's got unfinished work to do.
McGregor 3, I want to fight maybe Dustin Poirier if he's subject to the pussy, and then maybe Mike Perry. Let's see what happens in the future, though.
And someone said, what about the White House? He's like, oh yeah, that'd be dope too.
Yeah, the White House would be perfect.
You're the man.
Now, we've talked about this many times. Of course, Diaz and McGregor, they are one apiece. Nate Diaz shocked the world. He wasn't
Surprise, mother...
when he choked out Conor McGregor, and of course they fought again. Conor came back. It was another great performance. He dropped him with leg kicks. He dropped him with every left hand that he threw. But it was a war, and Diaz made him work, and Diaz even had Conor running away at one point because he was getting a little bit tired. But the fact of the matter is that those were two of the most watched fights in UFC history, much like all of Conor McGregor's fights, okay? He is by far and large.
Michael Bisping emphasized that Conor McGregor is still the biggest draw in MMA, citing his legendary two-fight series with Nate Diaz. 1 win each, massive pay-per-view numbers. If Diaz seeks unfinished business, a third fight would instantly be one of the UFC's biggest events.
The White House is going down, and Conor McGregor, I think, will be fighting on it, and Jorge Masvidal would be a good matchup, okay? I'd rather watch that than Michael Chandler, respectfully, but Nate Diaz 3? Now, Nate Diaz is still a draw, right? People love Nate Diaz. He has got cult-like status in the mixed martial arts world, just like his brother. And his brother Nick, by the way, he said recently that he's going to come back as well. He said, maybe I was getting it confused. Maybe he said this new generation of fighters. He's only 42 years old. He's cleaned up his act. He's been to rehab and stuff like that. Of course, last time we saw him, it wasn't a good look. He was a little bit overweight. I think it was Robbie Lawler that he fought. But
Bisping suggested that if the White House card goes ahead, he fully expects Conor McGregor to be featured. He even mentioned he'd personally prefer to see McGregor face Jorge Masvidal over Michael Chandler, though he didn't rule out a third fight with Nate Diaz, noting Diaz's enduring star power and massive fan base. Adding to the excitement, Nick Diaz has hinted at a comeback as well, saying he feels renewed despite a tough last fight with Robbie Lawler. According to Bisping, if both Diaz brothers return in top form, it only increases the blockbuster potential for an already huge event.
On White House is what everybody's talking about. Big card on June 14th. There's going to be 100,000 people across the street.
I'm going to be in there.
Who's more likely to fight on that card, Jon Jones or Conor McGregor?
I'll say Conor McGregor. Listen,
Why?
man, if you're gonna have the biggest fight card of all time, you gotta have the biggest star the UFC has ever seen.
Yeah.
I say
Addressing the growing White House card speculation, Daniel Cormier weighed in on who's most likely to appear. When comparing Jon Jones and Conor McGregor, he leaned toward McGregor without hesitation. His reasoning was simple. If the UFC wants to host its biggest event ever, especially one expected to draw a massive crowd on June 14th, they'll center it around the sport's biggest star. And in Cormier's view, that's McGregor. For fans, that means the excitement isn't just hype. It promises a truly unmissable spectacle.
Henry, here's the potentials. Alex Pereira, Jon Jones, White House. Or Dana says, all right, Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall, White House. Or Dana says, Jon Jones, Francis Ngannou, White House. Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, White House. What's the biggest fight out of these 4 fights here?
I'd probably say Tom and Jones.
Over Francis and Jones?
Yes. Why? Because it's the 250th birthday of our country, England versus USA, the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time versus the present.
I like where you're at. I told you.
When asked which matchup excites him most, Henry Cejudo didn't hesitate, favoring Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones over Francis Ngannou versus Jones. His reasoning: this isn't just any fight. It coincides with the nation's 250th birthday, symbolizing a clash of England versus the USA and a battle between the sport's legends and its present stars. Cejudo frames it as a generational showdown, a bout with legacy written all over it. And in his view, it represents not only a headline fight, but a defining moment for MMA itself.
Could be good. But I don't think there'd be too much bad blood between them. I'd want to see like a Tapuria Makhachev on.
Oh, that'd be good too.
They'd have to be separated. They'd be pushing matches. They'd almost get into a scrap. You know what I mean?
Look at these massive ideas.
Fucking yeah. He's like, God damn.
Everybody wants, let's do it. I tell them I will be ready soon. If White House, of course, I want to be in White House because there may be one and only we will make the fighting in White House. I want to be in history. Now I'm already make good money, which one I enough for my family, you know. And now I have everything before it's also not coming in my dream, you know. Now I just ready, you know. I training every day, still hungry, still fighting, still want to be.
MMA world is buzzing over the White House card, with fans and experts already imagining clashes that could spark fireworks before the first bell. One matchup that stands out to the analysts is Khamzat Chimaev versus Islam Makhachev, fighters who bring high stakes and intense energy, the kind of fights that make every fan sit forward in anticipation. It's not just about technique, it's about the unpredictability and tension that could explode at any moment. For many, these are the bouts most likely to define the night and keep everyone talking long after the event ends.
He thinks the UFC White House event will be the most watched event. And on the surface of it, that seems like a plausible claim. I mean, just sort of, again, given the unusualness of it, could it be that case? Plus, if they're going to be simulcasting on linear television through CBS as well as Paramount Plus, so now you're not behind any kind of a paywall, that certainly could make an enormous difference. I think it is However, I will just come down to a couple of factors. Number one, for fight fans, I mean, fight fans aren't going to skip it. Fight fans won't even skip, the average, or the hardcore fight fans, I should say, won't even skip, an event at the Apex. But to get the casual fan, I do think that some level of matchmaking will matter here, some level of it, right? I mean, they couldn't just put nobody's on that card and then have it there and it would be the biggest event in UFC history. I don't think that's quite right. However, with the right kind of matchmaking and, good luck.
Islam Makhachev is making it clear that he's aiming for the White House card and he wants it soon. For him, this isn't just another bout. It's an opportunity to leave his mark on a once-in-a-lifetime stage. Focused, determined, and hungry. He's ready. But the big question remains, who will accept the challenge? With his opponent still unknown, the suspense is growing, leaving fans to speculate on every possible matchup. One thing is certain, when Makhachev finally steps into the octagon, it won't just be a fight, it will be a bold statement.